Imagine this. A brilliant Indian student fresh out of IIT dream of studying at Harvard or working at Google. For years, diversity policies in the United States gave such international students a very small but important edge in admissions and hiring. But now, with major diversity, equity, and inclusion policies under fire or being rolled back across US companies and universities, the big question is, will this change spill over to India? And how will it affect Indian students and its workers? So, in recent years, several US states and companies have begun dismantling DEI programs, claiming that they create unfair advantages based on race or gender. This trend came after the United States Supreme Court struck down affirmative action in college admissions. States like Florida, Texas, and Oklahoma have passed laws limiting DEI programs in public universities and workplaces. In the meantime, large companies like Google, Meta, and Walmart have quietly scaled back diversity hiring goals. In fact, surveys showed that about 60% of Fortune 500 companies have reduced or frozen their DEI-related budget since 2023. This matters to Indians because they are among the largest international groups in the United States academia and tech industry. Indian students and workers have benefited significantly from DEI effort. Let's talk about data now. As of 2022, there were about 260,000 Indian students in the US, making up 21% of all international students. In the US tech sector, approximately 12% of workers are of Indian origin, even though Indians represent less than 2% of the US population. While DEI initiatives are mainly designed to uplift Black and other kind of Americans, international students, including Indians, often indirectly benefited through more inclusive hiring and also admission practices. Well, the big question is whether trend will spill over to India or not. You know what, when it comes to higher education, Indian students applying to the US colleges may face even tougher competition. Without DEI policies, the focus is going to shift almost entirely to test scores, grades, and legacy admissions, where local US students may hold a home advantage. Indian students who previously counted on their international diversity profile to stand out will now need even stronger academic profile to compete. And also on the corporate front, India's diversity initiatives may also lose momentum. Many Indian multinational companies like Infosys, Wipro, and TCS have borrowed their diversity playbook from the US. If global headquarters scale back DEI, Indian subsidiaries may follow suit. Already, DEI hiring in Indian companies make up only about 20 to 25% of total hiring, as compared to 40 to 50% in top US companies. With less pressure from global boards, Indian companies may slow down their women's leadership program, LGBTQ+ hiring drives, or caste diversity initiative. The numbers tell an important story here. About 57% of Indian students abroad choose the US more than Canada, Australia, or the UK combined. Nearly 40% of Indian STEM graduates aim for US jobs for advanced degrees. Now, on the work side, Indian H-1B visa holders make up about 70% of all H-1B visas issued by the US, and Indian companies like those we mentioned before, Infosys, Wipro, or TCS, employ over 200,000 people in the US, often participating in the US Diversity Supply Program. Now, if DEI continues to decline, the Indian talent may face fewer scholarship, research grant, stricter hiring standards, and slower career growth, specifically in the US-based companies. Also, Indian experts are expressing concern. Education leaders in India worry that US campuses will become less welcoming for international students, specifically those from non-elite background. HR leaders warn that without global DEI goal, Indian companies may lag in building inclusive workforce, making it harder for all the minority groups. So the question is, what can Indian students and professionals do here? Well, they will need to strengthen their academic and work profile because competition without DEI will be even brutal. It's also worth considering other countries like Canada, Australia, and the UK, which still have active diversity programs. And wait, most importantly, Indian companies will need to develop their own homegrown diversity strategies instead of merely copying US policies. So, in the end, while Indian talent are globally respected, it has also benefited from decades of diversity focused opportunities abroad. As those doors narrow, India faces a double challenge, preparing its youth to compete in harsher global market and building its own fair and inclusive workforce. Well, the ripple effect of scrap diversity policy in the US is real and Indians need to be ready to face it.